afternoon. I'm Carrie Palaio, the Executive Director of the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce, and also your host for the Leveling Up podcast, where we talk about all things Greater Utica Chamber, what's going on in the area, and what you can expect in the business world and in your community. Today we have my wonderful friend and guest, Sarah Foster from Oneida County Tourism. But before we get into talking too deeply with Sarah, we are going to, a little bit of a blip there. We are going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the chamber world. Last time we were on, we talked about our Small Business Week, and I just wanted to highlight that our small business, Clinton Tractor, that we honored, made the front page of the Central New York Business Journal. So all of your nominations, the Catalyst Group Small Business Council put into the effort, they put into this program, really does go to make a difference. People do appreciate, respond, and react to this special week that we host. So thank you to all of you who put in nominations and who showed up for that event. Talking about a couple of things that are happening here at the Chamber. Next Thursday, you can join us for a small business survival series where we'll have a couple of different panelists. You can join live or virtually, so options for everybody here. We'll be talking about risk management, financing, invoicing, inventory control, and online sales. So if any of these are pain points for your business, be sure to join us to learn a little bit about those. And we have some great panelists. We have Pete Miller from Gilroy, Kernan and Gilroy, Matt Nickel from Berkshire Bank, Colette Arand from Black River Bookkeeping, Nathan Brown from Fiber Instrument Sales, and Francesca Dunleavy from Utica College. So if any of those things interest you, we hope that you'll join us next week. You can register for that at greateruticachamber.org. Also, thank you to all of you who joined us for our annual meeting last week. We had a wonderful event at Aquavino. It was great to see so many of our members' faces, to get ready for a little networking again. And so I'm going to drop a plug. You guys are going to hear this first, that we are hosting our first business after hours in well over a year. It's going to be at the Utica Zoo on Tuesday, June 29th. So that's going to be a great event. Registration will happen next week, so you can look for a little bit of info about that. And I'm going to save the other spoiler to the end of the podcast, so you're going to have to stay listening to the end for a really cool, new, unique event that we have coming up. So now it's my great pleasure to introduce Sarah Foster from Oneida County Tourism. We're going to talk a little bit about, people are now getting out and about and what to do in the local area, what may have changed over the last year, new things to see and do. So welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you're here. And, people are now getting out. They've been vaccinated, a little more comfortable getting out and doing things. You guys have had a really challenging year to kind of reshape and refocus what you do at Oneida County Tourism, with so many places, shuttered for a little while or having to revamp and rechange how they operate. You've had to do the same. So tell us a little bit about how you guys have shifted and cool things you've done. Being the lunch hour, I know that you did a really cool project with food. So
yes.
Tell us what's going on with Oneida County Tourism.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm also super excited for Business After Hours. Yay. The zoo is a perfect location, too.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, tourism industry was obviously, like so many industries, really severely impacted during COVID. In the very beginning, I remember, everyone was panicking. And I think the good thing about New York State is that we all communicate with each other a lot. So everyone could say, hey, what are you guys doing? What kind of ideas do you have? How do we handle this as a state? What kind of messaging to put out? And really the main thing that we learned was that don't focus on posting all the time. Don't be saying, oh, do this, do this, do this. Just focus on really safe things and make sure they're meaningful. And something that I think is so beneficial to Oneida County is that we're considered a drive market. So we don't have a major airport right near us. The closest would be Syracuse and Albany. So we're already a drivable destination, and that's what people started seeking out last year. So it kind of put us at an advantage that we're not relying on the transportation of people flying in, that people definitely across New York State were saying, what can we do that we feel safe, where it's not a huge commitment traveling-wise, and also just not wanting to go that far, and we're the perfect destination for that. And
Yeah, we're literally the center of the state. So
exactly.
you get to us from anywhere. You know, we've got great food. We've got great
Outdoor, like just like nature. I mean, you know, we've also heard and learned that a lot of people downstate are looking to move upstate now. It's kind of created this trend, and like it's something that I have absolutely been grateful for, and something that I consider a perk of living in this area is that we do have the fresh air, the land, the agriculture, the space. So whether I want to go hiking, biking, go to a farm, it's like we have all of that right here.
Yeah, but we also have great cultural and arts and
exactly.
zoo, and so we've got the big city amenities, but in a small town.
Yeah, Utica is the perfect size for me. It's like my perfect little city. So, yeah, so you know, initially a lot of attractions had been closed. I remember like the zoo, Munson Williams, like you're saying, Vernon Downs. It was just, it was a very tricky time. So we literally focused on nature. And we're like, you know, let's initially talk about hiking and, you know, walking trails, that kind of thing. But fortunately, like, especially now, how much things have changed. But fortunately, a lot of attractions started opening back up, and we were able to be updating our website in real time. And, you know, Marcy would put it in our newsletters, and any type of like safety information we were getting was going out to not only consumers, but also to our businesses. So like that B2B style. Yeah. But yeah, and then, you know, if you want to talk about the food, so, we also loved what the Chamber did last year with the different restaurant campaigns that were run. So like speaking of, you know, tourism industry being impacted, we would consider food and beverage like kind of part of that industry. And it seemed that restaurants were so severely impacted, and it's sad because I think Utica takes, and Oneida County, we take so much pride in our food.
Yeah, we had 2 different initiatives. We had Feed Our Frontline Families and Take Out the Virus, which together we were able to inject about $200,000 back into the economy by those 2
it's such a huge impact, and you know the restaurants appreciate it too, but it's like that benefit of living, we're a city, but we're a small city, so we all like have each other's backs, as cliche as it sounds. It's like we're very supportive, and even just going to the Chamber event, the annual meeting last week, it was like, oh, this is what I've missed, like the, you know, just seeing the friendly faces and the support of each other in person. So we decided to launch something called the A to Z Food Tour. So this has been like a lot longer than I anticipated it running, but we've kind of like, you know, let it drag out intentionally over the last couple months.
Now, do you go and eat every one of these meals?
No, but I wish. I've gotten to go to a couple of them. It really depends on what we have pictures of, and if we were lagging, I'd be like, hey, can I come over and try your food and take really pretty visually appealing pictures? So we, like, just a little background, we belong to something, we have this thing called Crowdrift, and it's how we source our images. So like we're always encouraging people, like when you're out and about posting on Instagram and Facebook, make sure you're, you know, tagging the location, using our hashtag, which is OC New York, because it helps feed everything into this like portal almost for us. And then we're able to use those images on our website, travel guide, social media, of course, with permission.
And the best recommendations are from people you know. So,
exactly.
You know, it's that added little boost.
It's like a genuine post because people are like already here visiting, or it's a local, and you know it's authentic. So we do this Crowdrift, and they have a conference every fall. And this past fall, it was virtual. So we, you know, Marcy and I had signed up for it, and someone, I think they were from Greenville, and they talked about doing this A to Z food tour. And then they said they also did another one that was arts and culture, which maybe we can save that for another year. But he said that they basically, you know, initially he said it, and I was like, oh, so they picked a restaurant that starts with each letter of the alphabet. So immediately I'm racking my brain.
Right.
But then he like kind of expanded on it and said, no, you know, we would pick the name of the dish that's associated with the letter. So I know you're going to get out your list now because we have some really amazing ones. So the premise was like, for Greenville, they chose themselves, but I almost wanted to, it's honestly like kind of protecting myself. I didn't want to show any favoritism or biasness. So I said, let's put it out for the public to vote. And we had like a form on our website so people could go on and say, my favorite dish is called, you know, blank from this restaurant. We would make sure that it was in Oneida County. And I basically built this like huge list that would say, okay, I could tell this restaurant had like 10 entries.
Right.
And 3 entries were for this dish. So, and then, spacing it out across the county, but ultimately we let the public choose, which was
And what
really
did
fun.
the public choose? We've got a great
So,
list here. We've
I
got some
know.
really fun stuff. And what letter are we on? We haven't
So I posted
divulged the
S
whole.
today.
Okay.
So I'll
we
just
might have to keep some of the bottoms a secret, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's one more that we can talk about.
Okay.
But so Swifties was one of them. We got, and it's funny, like all my captions, it's like we had so many different submissions for each restaurant, but they ultimately were chosen for the letter H, which is the Hangover Burger.
Okay.
So like go look on our Instagram. It is insane looking.
They do have really good burgers.
It's like the egg on top with, I think it was like fried onion rings, and oh my God, it just looks insane. Like,
They have really good loaded chips too.
yes.
Those
And they
are so
do
good.
their buffalo wonton, and or like the little buffalo wonton and the Reuben, whatever they are. Oh my God, they're so good. So they were one of them. We had Ocean Blue. Again, people were voting for the butter cake and the lobster rolls and like everything in
I've
between.
never had the butter cake. It's
Oh,
been
wait,
like
you said
2
that when we were
I
there.
know. I've never had the butter cake.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of things on their menu, and I love their Sunday brunch.
Well, they do like seasonal butter cakes too, which is kind
Yeah.
of cool. Like I'll feel like they'll theme it out to like whatever the.
Before the end of this year, that's going to be my goal.
Well, let's just go on a random day and get butter cake and prosecco. But they were chosen for the letter K, which is the kind of backloaded fries. So
We've enjoyed those many a night.
many a night. Again, it's like a heaping pile of amazing, perfect crispiness French fries, smothered in cheese, scallions, and then like good pieces of beef. And like they do not skimp. They are so well.
No, it's a meal.
Yeah, it's
a
well, as
shareable
you saw,
meal.
like
It's a shareable meal.
James and I had it the other day. So, and then Simeon. So we haven't done this letter yet, but they were actually who we kicked everything off with. So we're not revealing too much, but it's the xanthe. I think I'm saying that right. So it's like fried eggplant wrapped in a tortilla, and then I'm trying to remember what else it had. It was like roasted red peppers, some type of sauce. It's like a specialty Greek sauce. It was phenomenal. That was one that I did actually get to try in person.
Okay,
So
good.
yeah, it was delicious. And like, so we're basically putting out like 2 to 3 letters a week, and we disperse them within our other posts because we don't want it all to be food, but we
Right.
definitely are like want to,
Well, you got to eat every day, so
exactly. And like what Greenville did, which I've been trying to do. Initially, I would have been a little bit concerned, but like the captions are long, but we're putting a lot of information in. So like for every single restaurant, I'm getting a history on them, like maybe when they opened or like did they change ownership or something
So
like
what's some
that.
fun things that you've learned or new dishes that you didn't know were out there?
Let's see, I had to write these down. So, well, Joey's. I did not know Joey's existed. Joey's at 307. When I messaged
And they're a
him,
sponsor here at the Disruption Network.
yeah, which
so
is like
shout
works
out
out
to Joey's.
so perfect. But I had messaged, is Matt the owner, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, so I found him on Facebook, sent him a message, and I was like, hey, just wanted to let you know that like you've been chosen for this. Like we had the public decide, and the public kept saying like lobster risotto, lobster this, lobster that. So it was like all these lobster dishes. So they were chosen for the letter L for lobster anything from Joey's at 307. And he was like so ecstatic. He's like, I can't even tell you how much this made my day. Like you could just tell the pride, and it made me emotional because he was one of the first people I talked to.
Well,
And
these
so, like,
businesses are these people's babies. They talk
Exactly.
about them like they talk about their children.
Yep,
You
and,
you
like,
put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into every
Everything.
dish, and
And then you're completely like have to pivot because of COVID. So it's like, how hard, what that impact must have been for them. So, and that was kind of the purpose of this, was to be like, let's encourage you to go out, try local restaurants. And then if you're not comfortable dining in, order takeout. And we'll like comment that kind of stuff too. Like they are open for dining, or if they're not, or if you can just do curbside, like whatever it is. I'm trying to think of a couple others. Like, some are common, like Giorgio's. We did Escarole, so we kind
Okay.
of like beat it, but with
Okay.
the Utica greens, because
Yep.
that got a lot.
what trumped G for greens?
What
So what was G?
compound? Oh, gourmet grilled cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, from the compound. So and it was like weird. It was almost like playing a game, but like I wasn't like messing with the list, but it was like people would say like this grilled cheese, this one, and someone put gourmet, and I was like, oh, I kind of like how that works out, and then we can tie greens into escarole. But like
Yep.
then we did Riggy's the other day, and I said like let's think outside the box and not do like tomato pie, greens.
Right.
but people voted
The
anyway. And it's
traditionals.
like, how do we not, I guess, include them on a list that
Right.
is the A to Z food tour for Oneida County? And like, ultimately, this list will live forever on our website as a blog, and it will be an Instagram guide. So like, it's an amazing reference, whether you're like, oh my God, I want to try something new.
Yeah, because how many times do you sit there and you're like, I don't know what I want for dinner, or
And then you're in a rut, and you just go to the same place,
the
like-
same place. So
Yep.
quick scroll. You could even play a game. Just scroll on Instagram wherever it stops. Go there for dinner.
Yeah, I love it. A new one that I had discovered, I guess, and I hope I say this right, was Josie 88.
Oh yeah. Kyle's
It's
friend
like,
goes there a lot.
yeah, yes, I know. Kyle had always been posting about it. I actually tried them, not even for the tour, but like I did a girls' night with my friend, and I was like, let's get food from
Dumplings.
here. Yeah, we got dumplings and everything. It was all delicious. So, and I also think that's what's cool about this list. Like, yes, there's definitely Italian food, there's American food, but like we are so culturally diverse in Oneida County, and we have people who have come from so many countries who have open restaurants. So like, go support them and try these like super authentic flavors that it's really hard to come by elsewhere. I mean, like, it's a mini New York City, how much diversity we have here.
It is, and it's just so easy to fall back on your favorites. So
Yeah.
it's a great way to check out something new. In addition to new things besides food, because Sarah and I could talk about food all day long, all day long. If you haven't been out lately, if you've been staying safe and being home a little bit longer, the landscape of some of our venues have changed. We have some new restaurants. We have some new, some activities have changed on the calendar. So what can we expect this weekend, this summer, what to look forward to? Things that have maybe moved and shifted in times that, we're normally used to the Boilermaker.
I know.
Yeah, in July, but we're going to have a fall race.
Fall
Which, as a
Boilermaker.
runner, fall races are incredible. So I think some people have their best Boilermaker times.
I think so
running,
too.
Running in the
Not in the heat of a July morning.
Yeah. So.
I agree. Well, yeah. So I guess to start off, I can say some events that are happening over the weekend, and we have the Town of Marcy Food Truck Friday. So they kick off tomorrow, and this is their monthly food truck event. It's until 8 p.m. in the town park on Toby Road. They have live music by Follow the Muse. They're running a bottle and can drive to help raise money that will ultimately help revamp the park and make some improvements there. And they have over 10 food trucks that will go, including Polish Roadhouse, Grapevine, Walk This Way, and more. So
I just had Polish Roadhouse for dinner on Tuesday night, What the Truck. So
What the Truck too. I mean, we're very fortunate with our food truck scene here.
Yeah, absolutely.
How was your food? Did you get pierogies?
Of course I got pierogies. It was phenomenal. So.
Look at how we circled back to food.
Yeah.
Already.
You can't escape it.
I know. So, in the next line of events, these are almost all at our beverage trail partners. So let me just backtrack a little bit. I'm trying to think the best way to tie everything in. But we have something called the Heart of New York Beverage Trail in Oneida County, and we have 9 partners who are part of this list. And it includes 6 breweries, 3 wineries. So we noticed, talking about the landscape and how things changed last year, it seemed that our beverage trail partners thrived. 7 Hamlets, they opened in a pandemic, and I remember visiting there, and they have this sprawling lawn, and you can bring your own lawn chairs and set up. So it was you felt totally safe.
You felt like you're in your backyard, but you're not in your backyard.
Chilling with friends, and at that time they didn't have live music, but now they do. So we noticed that Bag Square Brewery, they opened during a pandemic. So it's very impressive. Even the compound was new. Yep. And these are all knock on wood, amazing places who have just seemed to really thrive.
Yeah. So if you've been home a little bit more, you can check out some of these places. Sarah just mentioned Bag Square Brewery. They're going to be celebrating their 1-year anniversary on June 11th here.
It's so crazy. It's been a year.
Yeah. So they're going to be planning a little, outdoor festival for the whole weekend. So that's something to look forward to coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yep. We're really excited, and we just met with them recently to talk about we're ordering new T-shirts. So the premise of this beverage trail is you can be a local, you can be a visitor. It's an awesome idea if you have friends and family visiting and you're what should we do this weekend? You could hit up a couple beverage trail stops, definitely get a DD if you're going to a few. But we you go to each spot, you do a tasting. You'll get a punch card. Right now it's a punch card, but we're kind of playing around with that idea.
I still have one in my wallet.
See, and they're wallet size,
Yep.
so we had to make sure that they fit in your wallet so we don't lose them. But you can go, you do a tasting, you get the stamp, and wherever you finish, it doesn't matter what spot it is, you will get a free t-shirt. So we are working on our new design, so we'll have a new color this year. But it's funny, we have some like very loyal trail followers who will go every single year. Yeah, and they're like, well, we want the new shirt color. So
there you go, yeah.
Relatable. So then to that point, we have Friday night Phil Art Curry live at Villa Verona Vineyard. We have Tom Nitty at Willie's Chop Shop in Sylvan Beach. Saturday night at the Harp with DJ Roscoe Red. Seven Hamlets is hosting on Saturday. Northern Outlaws, they'll have killer brews, good food. They have their food truck there. It's also just, really nice to sit on that lawn. Villa Verona Vineyard has something on Saturday. Brimfield Farm Winery in Clinton. On Sunday, they have Ed Hildreth. Beautiful views, like you've been to Brimfield, right?
Yeah. I think that's where I got my original punch.
You got the first one there?
Yeah, yep.
They're amazing. And if you're a golfer, they have this like gorgeous driving range. So you can kind of do like a little one-stop shop and go hit some balls over at the range and then head up to the deck that like overlooks the valley with just stunning views and enjoy some wine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And cheese and snacks and
yeah, and they have local products there. You can get like a little grazing board of local food. So
yeah, and that ties in. We also have the Central New York Cheese Trail. So we haven't been able to do as much with it during COVID, but we are like working with them. There will be the Little Falls Cheese Festival, I think in October, and they bring in a lot of producers from Oneida County. So really, like we relate a lot to food and beverage, but that's what we.
But there's always something to do in the area.
There is. So. Oh yeah, I know. It's like I remember like pre-COVID, we'd be like, it's overwhelming. Like how do you
choose?
And anytime someone would be like, oh, there's nothing to do, I'm like, have you looked at social media? Like, have you gone on Facebook or a website? Like, there's just always something good happening. Totally unrelated, I guess, to the drinks. We have over at Sylvan Beach, the grand opening weekend at Simply Grow. It's free classes all weekend. They'll have refreshments with the Daily Grind and Love Bugs Bakery. You can pre-register or sign up there. You get 10% off retail. So they sell like crystals, jewelry, tea diffusers.
Very cool.
And they're a fitness and yoga studio. And then Sunday is a cemetery walk to remember with Oneida County History Center at 2 p.m. So this is with the Oneida chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. And you can learn about some of the people who were buried in the historic cemetery. And it's a free event. It takes place at the old burying ground on Kirkland Ave in Clinton.
Yeah, nice little way to celebrate Memorial Day and
learn a little bit of history. Yeah, exactly. So that's those are like the main events happening this weekend. But we are always. I think the beauty of our Facebook page and like just Facebook features is that any partner we have who makes an event on Facebook, we can automatically add it to our page. So we have just like this running list. It's easier than updating our website, honestly.
Yeah, if there's something that, if you have some free time and you don't know where to go, it's a great place to go check out what to do and see in Oneida County.
Yeah, exactly.
So also, you added to this list what's going on outside of this weekend. We talked about
big ones.
The landscape of things changing. I know a lot of stuff has been pushed back because of COVID. We really didn't know the timing on, when would outdoor events be safe and without masks. So things are, pushing a little bit later into the year. So what do we have to look forward to beyond this weekend?
All right, so on Saturday, June 5th, is the Kirkland Arts Center. It's their the 42nd annual run and walk. So we are really excited that that's happening again. Clinton is just like such a cool town. I mean, I grew up kind of close to it, but it's the beauty of it is that you can kind of like park your car and you can just walk around the green and you have these amazing restaurants and shops and coffee, like whatever your grilled cheese, gelato. Yeah. So that's happening Saturday, June 5th. On July 18th, we have the 5th annual Blues Picnic at Sylvan Beach. And then also at Sylvan Beach, July 15th through the 18th is Pirates Weekend. So we're really excited that that's back again.
And if you haven't been out to Sylvan Beach, that landscape's changed a little bit. We've got some new development down there.
Definitely some new development. So we had featured them last year for our Fam Bus Friday that we can talk about too. But they the lake house at Sylvan Beach went in, so that was with the Oneida Indian Nation, and they do a great Sunday brunch that I've been out before. They have an awesome patio, so you can sit outside. You're right on the lake. There's a lot of development there too. Different restaurants, like even with Verona Beach and Sylvan Beach, and all connecting, like the Oneida Lake Brew House. But there are great restaurants, you know, Eddie's, Harpoons. Can't even think of all of them off the top of my head, but. And then on top of it, we just learned, I think either this week or last, that the Oneida Indian Nation is investing in building 70 condos, I guess, like family
They come
friendly.
with a boat. They come with a pontoon boat, right?
I know, yeah.
You know, you go on vacation, you rent a house, and you want to, you know, you're on this lovely lake, and you want to take advantage of it with some
Yeah,
water
you're like, how do I
sports.
get on the water? Like,
Yeah. So that's a really neat, unique concept.
It is. So, you know, we've always talked about that, like with Sylvan Beach, it reminds me of Clinton in the sense that like you park it and you just can walk around the whole time. And it has that very nostalgic feeling, like you're not bombarded by chain restaurants. It just gives you like a very old school, but like family oriented style, but it's also fun even
And it's safe.
friends and
you can, you know, if you have younger, you know, that mid age of young teenagers, they can walk around and do things.
Exactly. You feel safe,
family
and
friendly.
secure, and then you're on the water, so you can go out on the lake. But yeah, we're really happy that Oneida Indian Nation is moving forward with that because there was a lack of hotel or rooms available out there. It was really just, you know, home rentals. So creating something like this, I think, is going to bring in way more people. And we work with Sylvan Beach all the time, and they sit on our board, so they're excited about it. And I think they understand like what Oneida Indian Nation, what they can bring to the table, just in terms of marketing and how to get more people in. So
And especially as we bring people from the outside, that tourism dollar has such an impact on the area.
Oh yeah, it's, you know, it's as simple as like they stay somewhere, but then they need to get gas and they need groceries, or they go out to dinner, or they go get coffee. So it's really just like a rolling effect on a huge impact on multiple businesses.
Right, especially in that area because a lot of those are seasonal.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah. So and then they're doing a lot of events. They have like weekly events. I know there too. They do bikes at the beach, vets at the beach, that kind of stuff. We have the Munson Williams Sidewalk Art Show, and that is at the very end of July into August, I want to say.
Yeah, so if you normally expect that around 4th of July weekend, it'll be a little bit later this year. They wanted some
that
more
what-
time. Yeah, it's normally like June 30th to July 4th, like that span of
Okay,
time.
but I'm
So
correct in the timing for this
are,
year?
yep.
Okay. I was like really overthinking. But yeah, and that's another great event because you're outside. Almost all of it's there. But even if you go into Munson Williams, like I think it's Emma Amos or Amos. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but they have this new exhibition coming in, I think next month. And on top of it, they just to go anyway, it's free to visit unless you're going to a special exhibition. And then they have Fountain Elms too. And it's a really cool history that you learn about like the families who have played a role in kind of like building Utica.
Yeah.
So we're really pumped that that's back. We have the Clinton Art and Music Festival, which is happening Saturday, August 28th. Again, you know, music, vendors, so many businesses get involved. They do like the Adirondack chair paints where they work with local artists. And then the Boilermaker Road Race Sunday, October 10th. So it's not July this year, but like Carrie said, should be better weather conditions.
kind of ending our summer season. If we have, you know, if we have that fall summer, that'll be kind of the end of our summer season.
Exactly.
So instead of kicking it off with the Boilermaker, we're ending it this year.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think
Nice
it'll
little
be
capstone.
different, but it will be very enjoyable for running.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we also have some other things, you know, not just if you want to be in the Oneida County area, you mentioned earlier, you work with local partners. If you wanted to stay in New York, you're working on a really unique program.
Yeah, so we this past year I joined the board of directors for the New York State Tourism Industry Association, NYSTIA, and they are kind of like, I mean, especially during COVID, I think that they have become even more important, or like people have realized their value, but it's they're kind of like who we all go to for information, as well as I Love New York, but you know, they're just two different organizations, but they complement each other very well. So they launched something called Roam the Empire campaign. And it was like anybody across New York State could buy into it, but it wasn't like a cost associated with it. Really, they just provided all the marketing materials. They worked with an agency out of Buffalo and created, you know, social media things, different fact sheets, press release ideas, and the entire purpose is to encourage New Yorkers to roam New York State this year. So again, we noticed it definitely last year. I had so many conversations where people were like,
I'm not going to go on that big...
forcing me to travel locally, but I never knew that I could do this. And as much as it's sad that that's what it took for it to happen, we're happy that people started exploring.
Or those vacations you maybe went on as a child and haven't revisited as an adult, if you haven't gone out to Watkins Glen or...
Exactly, Letchworth State Park or Lake George. So there are over, I want to say 40 companies who are considered part of it, but even if they're not on the list, we definitely encourage you to still visit them. We of course want people to visit Oneida County, but it's nice to come together on a statewide campaign and to just encourage spending within your state. And a couple of stats that I had. In 2019, New York State hosted 265 million visitors.
Wow.
And from that, 72 billion with a B was built in spending at small and large businesses. So that's kind of where this campaign comes into place. And then last year, there was a loss of over 330,000 jobs in the tourism industry. So everything from hotels to restaurants to everything in between, attractions. There were just so many businesses that closed. So the whole purpose of this campaign is really to say, support your home state. And even if you're moving the dollars around, even if it's in a different county.
Back to you.
Exactly. And you're hoping that other people are doing the same thing. And our state is amazing. I mean, obviously I work in tourism, I'm a bit biased, but we have everything from the major city that is a gateway to not only New York, but to the rest of the country, over to Niagara Falls. And then we have the mountains and the wineries and the breweries and
the St. Lawrence River.
St. Lawrence. I mean, there's just so much diversity and so much to do. So lots of good ideas there. We're
and if you still are lacking for ideas, you have your kind of what I like to call your adult field trip.
Yes. Yep, I know. I'm going through. Okay, I think I've talked about most of that. So we do something. Well, typically we do it. It's called an ambassador tour or a fam tour. But last year we had to revamp this. So you've done it before multiple times, and we would bring locals on a bus. We'd go to 10 attractions in Oneida County. And we target hoteliers to get front desk staff, but it's open to anybody. And the whole purpose is to showcase here are things that we have in the area. So when you have people visiting, you can recommend what to do. So last year we said we can't put people on a bus. Nobody feels comfortable doing that. So how do we revamp it? So we ultimately, we work with Roger Communications on that. They said, what if we visit, pick 5 different attractions? So we actually partnered with Wellness Day, and we are going to do something like that again this year.
I'm dying to get there. The pictures are incredible.
It's amazing.
And they're very well booked. I mean, they're...
Oh, yeah. They book out. And he gets some amazing press, which I think helps, too. But that really played into the whole nature concept, too. And we ran the contest that was if you followed along and you could fill out a form, you were entered to win a staycation at Wellness Day. And we had all the data to know where people were coming from. So when we chose the winner, we knew that they were within a 125-mile radius of Oneida County, because we were not encouraging, people from further away to come. So we're doing something similar this year. We haven't landed on where the overnight stay will be. Sorry, one second.
So while Sarah enjoys her water,
I have to hydrate. Too much coffee. So we went to Wellness Day. We had filmed there, and then we chose 5 attractions in Oneida County. And it was Roger would bring a DJ and someone to film, and we would interview somebody, whether it was the owner or someone that works there. We would tour the property. We had done the Adirondack rail bikes up in Thandera. Yeah. We did Nostro and Ocean Blue. It really different types of things too, and we focused on what's safe.
And I think sometimes we forget about what's good in here and local.
I know.
So
you overlook it because you think that you need to go somewhere else, I think. Yeah. But so then every Friday for 5 Fridays in a row, we did Fan Bus Fridays. So they went back, their team would build the videos, they would air on Facebook, we would put them up on Fridays, and it became so successful that we then did Fall Fun Fridays. and did 4 places. So this year we're picking 4 attractions. I can confirm that one is Spring Creek Lavender in Remsen.
yes, yep.
So, you know, those beautiful lavender fields that
When do they bloom?
July. And so I think we're gonna go before it blooms, just because of the timing of the campaign. But then I'll go back with my team, and we're gonna be doing some like live videos with us frolicking in the lavender because they're so beautiful. But you know, it's it kind of is like that point that social media definitely makes people go places. They're like, I want to go take a picture with sunflowers. I want to go take a picture with lavender. And trust me, I get it. But the cool thing is that when you go and do that, you're supporting a local farm or a company. So then you're spending your money there. Maybe you buy their products. And like Spring Creek Lavender, she does different events throughout the year. They do like lavender yoga, and they have like chickens walking around and cool, just like cool picnic.
Baby goats up there too? Or?
I think they do have goats. Yeah, love goats. Like, love baby goats. So we're really excited about that. That will kick off. I want to say they'll start airing in July, or maybe end of June. We'll start filming really soon on that. But again, great inspiration for like when you're just looking for something to do, whether you have kids, friends, family, date night, like all really cool ideas.
Pictures.
Yeah, I know, exactly. But yeah, there's a lot going on, and I'm trying.
See if you missed anything. I do know one big thing we haven't touched on yet. Very close to local, the new energy center up at the zoo.
I know. Well, I'm like hoping that they might be one of the fam tour things today. I'm talking to them today on the phone. So I'm sorry if they're not it, but we are hoping that we would. And we would tie it in, I think, with the Utica Zoo. But yeah, the John S. Dyson Energy Zone, which is run by NYPA, the New York Power Authority. Our team got to go out a few weeks ago, right before they officially opened, and do like that behind the scenes tour. It is amazing. I mean, have you gone up yet?
I haven't yet.
All right, so bucket list.
Soon. Yes, yes, I will very, very soon.
And definitely get up there. And it will be phenomenal for families and kids because it is so hands-on and so interactive. But as 5 adults, or actually we went with 6 of us, 6 adults, like we were totally into it. And like you're building like safe cities, or you know, the renewable resources, and you also learn about the history of energy and like what role New York State and our area specifically has played, and like the dams that we have, and it's very fascinating. And we had a blast. So and it's free to visit.
And we don't have the best weather forecast this Memorial Day weekend. So if you're looking to stay closer to home and do something.
Yeah, and then it's cool because they're on campus basically with the Utica Zoo. So NYPA is free. Zoo has a minor admission. With NYPA right now, I will double check their hours, but they were starting off as Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they were really encouraging reservations, but eventually they will be going to 7 days a week. So we're very excited for that.
Great.
Yeah.
So any other items you want to touch upon before we go?
Yes, I'm just going to say a few more things.
She still got some more on her list. She did her homework, Sarah.
I did. Well, I just wanted to give like almost like a general overview. So we've talked a lot about like nature and stuff. Last year I had made this trails blog that talked about like 10 trails in Oneida County. I've now expanded that, so it's like 20. It lives on our website. It also lives on our Instagram page. We have like on the actual guide feature, you can click it and it lists 20 places to go. I'm super biased, but I love Roscoe Conkling Park. Like I am just
And you can really make a walk an actual event, you know. You can gather up people and do like a moonlight hike, perhaps on
We did that.
on Halloween when it was a full moon.
Spooky.
But it's not just, you know, it's really, you know, taking care of yourself, loving the area.
And it's like a good way to connect with people. Like everyone is in a different comfort zone, and we're totally like, we absolutely get that. So like maybe people still don't want to go meet at a restaurant, so why not go for a walk with them and then enjoy the city? I mean, it's pretty crazy that we have an 18-hole golf course, a zoo, at the end Val by Alice, the cemetery, and all these amazing walking trails. Then even further, we have FT Proctor and TR Proctor Park. So it's a really cool history. So definitely encouraging that. The farmers markets are all launching this year. I went to the Oneida County Public Market, I think a week and a half ago. Their 10th season, which is really insane. So that was cool. Clinton has one on Thursdays, Rome on Wednesdays, Vienna on Thursdays. Vernon Downs Racing is happening this year. This weekend, it's Friday and Saturday, but it will go through November. And then just a couple other attractions that we recommend visiting. Utica Zoo, Fort Ricky is open. Sylvan Beach, check out what's new there. Vernon Downs, Turning Stone, Munson Williams. The Oneida Community Mansion House, which is kind of like on the brink of Madison County. They've been doing history walks, so they're not actually taking you in, but you're doing like architecture walk and talks around the property.
Yeah,
So you were asking about like prom pictures, like that's where we all went for our prom pictures. Was the Mansion House.
Yeah, a little far for us, but
yeah, a little bit further. Definitely encourage golfing. We are so fortunate to again have I think like 28 public golf courses in Oneida County. So again, you feel safer, you're out in nature, and they're beautiful. Like they're just
we're
well
lucky
kept.
to have like the wealth of resources from golf
Exactly.
courses to restaurants. I think we've covered
Everything,
like everyone's
culture,
interests.
and then
history.
My last one was state parks. So we have 3. We have Delta Lake State Park, Pixley Falls Waterfall, and then Verona Beach. So yeah, head out. But honestly, like the best way to get all of our information is Instagram and Facebook. On Facebook, we're Visit Oneida County NY, and then on Instagram, we are at OC New York, and then our website, OneidaCountyTourism.com. But we're always posting, like you can find the A to Z food tour on there, you can find what events are happening, and just, follow along, and hope to see you guys out this year, in the summer.
Right. So this is called the Leveling Up Podcast.
Yes.
So Sarah's like, oh no,
I'm
what am I going to
nervous
be asked now? Sarah and I talked yesterday, but I didn't give her this. So, we talked a little bit about how you guys had to shift in your mission to, still represent Oneida County the best of your ability during COVID. But what have you had to do either personally or professionally to level up recently? What's really been the biggest kind of shift to move you to where you are in your career, to profile Oneida County in the way that you do?
I mean, I feel like it's personal and professional, but it was, and I feel like it's such a common word, but like I had to adapt. And everything that I was so used to doing, attending the events, going to trade shows, making those connections, none of that happened for a year. But I did I guess, like in a literal sense, I hosted a travel writer a couple weeks ago. So that was like leveling up a bit. And I was able to have her for 2 nights and, 2.5 days in Oneida County. But yeah, I think it's just like, in terms of adapting, I had to be open and say that like whatever I thought I knew, and again, that's personally too. I value, like I can't even explain traveling, and it felt like I couldn't do it for a year. And
it's like one of your main passions was
and I was like, what do we do? But it ended up being exploring the state and like going closer to home and really appreciating. And I swear, like I became an avid walker during COVID, which I never thought happened. I like used to think it wasn't worth it and that it wasn't good exercise. And now I'm like, every day I'm like, James, can we go for a walk? Like, and go into the parks and just like really appreciate the area. Yeah. So I don't know if I fully answered your question.
That's all right. But
in a roundabout way.
I think that's like one of the things that really is unique about 2021 is the adaptation and new innovation, whatever business you are in and wherever you are personally, because people have had to change their work style and how they work. And so that really is something that has pushed us all to grow.
Agree. And it literally makes you realize like what's important. I mean, it was like a full like self-assessment and then being like, what do I value in people that my relationships and, just like what are the most important things? Like, I feel like I kind of reflected on it at the end of 2020 and it was a crazy year. It was a bad year, but there were some really amazing things that came out of it because of what we were forced to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Some real highlights came out of it.
Yeah. Like a wedding.
like a little wedding coming up here in October.
Planning during a pandemic.
Yeah, but again, it's forced you to realize what you want that event to look like and how to make it special and unique.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much.
Thanks, girl. So fun. I know.
For this conversation. Before I wrap up, I want to, kind of just highlight some of the things that we have going on. We do have a few spots left for our 2021 Choo Choo, which is on August 20th. I think we have 5 teams left. So if you're interested in golfing in our Choo Choo Open, it's our 20th anniversary. We're sure to sell out. It's a great day of networking and golf and a train ride. So really tying together all of those attractions that we've talked about this whole podcast.
Tourism 101.
Yeah. So you can register at greateruticachamber.org. And we have a very special, unique event coming up that the Catalyst Group is putting on. We are going to do a scavenger hunt on July 7th. It is going to be run through an app. It's going to have all sorts of different clues. It's going to have an interactive leaderboard, so you'll be competing against other teams, and then we're all going to meet up to reveal the winner at Woodland Brewery. So it's going to be a great night.
Sounds so fun.
Yeah, so we're working on the clues right now and
I'm
trying
really
to make them interesting and unique. And you don't have to do everything because everything's going to have different points. So you can choose to go for the high value items and get more points, or you can choose to do the ones that push you along quicker. So depending on, there'll be teams of 4 people. So you pick 3 of your friends, or you can go at it alone or just one friend. We really wanted to do something that is interactive, but you can feel safe.
Yeah.
So if you have, somebody that you live with, or, a close group of friends that you spend time with, and you don't really want to go to the meetup, you could still win prizes, because that virtual leaderboard will still crown the ultimate Uticans, whoever wins.
Oh boy,
this.
that's gonna get tough.
So we're trying to make it creative but fun. Pushing some tourism dollars. So if you're a member business, $20 for your team, so $5. But there might be some clues where you may choose to spend more money or not. So it'll really be fun and interesting, and we're really, really excited about it. And we're hoping to kind of make this a event that we can, do over time and change things and,
I know, I
change
feel like we could use
and,
this too, just in general for promotions and ways to learn about the area.
Great ways, we're working on this relocation tool. So if we have somebody coming to visit the area, kind of a fun way to show them around. So we're really excited about that event. It's going to be on a Wednesday night. Registration's going to be announced very shortly. So this really is a preview, as for our listeners for our podcast. So we wanted to kind of, shout that out here.
Yeah.
So as we head into the holiday weekend, be safe, explore Utica. We're really excited to keep doing this, and thank you for coming on today. And before
Honored to come on.
I know it's always fun to talk about the things
It's easy
to do
when it's
here.
you too. I was like, oh good, go hang with Carrie.
Yeah. So thank you so much to our sponsors. Thank you to Todd and Z at Disruption Network, who make us look great. Thank you to our platinum level sponsors at the Chamber, Mohawk Valley Health Systems, and StaffWorks. We couldn't do any of this without any of you. So have a great day and enjoy a long weekend.
Yeah.